This is like any actor. We used to have on our resumes, you'd have a section that would say special skills and interests. And my special skills and interests were insane.
A Hollywood star losing the role that made him a household name. That alone is enough to send shockwaves through the industry. Yet the drama swirling around Ryan Reynolds isn't your usual studio shakeup. Rumors suggest he's been stripped of his iconic Deadpool mantle, replaced by a far less likely figure and publicly shamed in front of millions. Could one of Hollywood's most charismatic faces really have been taken down so suddenly and so ruthlessly? Strap in, because this story reveals how even the most beloved careers can crumble under the weight of private feuds, corporate power moves, and a microphone as influential as Joe Rogan's. Ryan Reynolds wasn't always the unstoppable Hollywood charmer we know today. Early in his career, he bounced around smaller comedies and action flicks, charming fans with quick wit, but never achieving that megastar status.
I was a Mexican bartering guide.
Tightrope walker.
Yeah. Figure skater. And they would always look at it and go, oh, wow, you've really got a lot of things. And I would just be like, yeah, great.
Everything changed when he latched onto a concept that seemed impossible to sell, a fourth wall breaking, comic anti-hero named Deadpool. Studio execs didn't see the potential at first. They were uneasy about an R-rated, foul-mouthed, and irreverent superhero who broke every mold. But Ryan believed in it so fiercely that he campaigned for years to make it happen. When the first Deadpool film finally hit theaters, it shattered box office predictions. The wisecracking merc with a mouth became synonymous with Ryan's own brand of snarky humor, and fans loved him all the more for it. He wasn't just the star, he shaped Deadpool's personality, led grassroots marketing campaigns, and turned a risky property into a billion-dollar phenomenon. Other Marvel ventures might have overshadowed niche characters, but Deadpool, helmed by Ryan, felt personal and unfiltered. From that point on, the actor and the character were practically inseparable, with fans clamoring for every cameo or teaser hinting at more. That's why this new rumor, a complete recast, seems so unthinkable.
It wasn't me. I've been trying to get it made for 11 years. Yeah, we developed the script 6 years ago, wrote this fantastic script. It leaked online and Deadpool fans went nuts for it.
But if Hollywood history teaches us anything, it's that no star is truly irreplaceable once studio heads smell trouble. A series as successful as Deadpool doesn't die quietly. For months, subtle whispers suggested tension between Ryan Reynolds and the powers that be at Marvel. It started innocently enough. Disagreements about how Deadpool would merge into the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe. Concerns over the edgier. Content clashing with family-friendly Marvel brands, and even talk of creative clashes over how far the raunchy humor should go. While these were typical Hollywood discussions, sources began hinting that the real friction went deeper. Some insiders said Ryan's confidence had evolved into an unshakable ego. It wasn't that he was overtly hostile, rather, he was fiercely protective of Deadpool's tone. If Marvel executives pitched an idea that smoothed out Deadpool's rough edges too much, Ryan resisted. He wanted to preserve everything that made the character stand out from the typical spandex crowd. At first, these creative disputes seemed normal, especially for a star so entwined with his role. But behind the scenes, the rumor mill churned, with speculation that Marvel might quietly search for a replacement, someone more willing to be part of the larger machine. Fans didn't believe it. How could the studio even consider replacing the man who breathed life into their biggest surprise? Hit? Yet those rumors kept growing, whisper by whisper, until they erupted into the scandal we're seeing now. When the name Justin Baldoni floated into the conversation, the fan community's first reaction was bafflement. Baldoni, known for heartfelt dramas and romantic tearjerkers, seemed the absolute opposite of R-rated comedic carnage.
And suddenly there were these headlines and people were just very upset with Blake Lively and started stringing together her pattern, okay? So her reputation, you could say, last year completely tanked.
He built a reputation directing and starring in projects that left audiences in tears over heartfelt social messages, not belly laughing at irreverent one-liners. The idea of him stepping into the snarky, violent, irreverent world of Deadpool felt downright surreal. But speculation took a darker turn once gossip websites mentioned that Baldoni had a tense relationship with Ryan's wife, Blake Lively. Did that tension spill into Ryan's dealings with Marvel? Some claimed that Blake and Justin had a falling out on a prior project. Others whispered that there was some personal history only a few industry insiders knew. Regardless of the real reason, the rumor was that Justin Baldoni was now at the epicenter of this potential recast. One day, he was a respected but relatively niche figure in Hollywood. The next, he was rumored to be the new face of one of Marvel's most profitable franchises. Fans brushed it off as a bizarre hoax until a certain podcast host decided to run with the story and blow it sky high. The Joe Rogan Experience isn't some tiny corner of the internet. It's an audio powerhouse that shapes public opinion daily. So when Rogan decided to weigh in on the rumors, he didn't hold back. He openly mocked Ryan Reynolds' alleged meltdown, latching onto the idea that Reynolds' ego had become.
Dear Judge Lyman, as counsel for Wayfarer Studios LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie LLC, Melissa Nathan.
Too big for Marvel to handle. Rogan joked that Deadpool just got dead, suggesting that Ryan himself had torpedoed the role by overplaying his hand. He insisted that Reynolds must have angered the studio with personal dramas, especially ones involving Justin Baldoni. For Ryan, Rogan's commentary was devastating. It wasn't just a mild critique. It was a public evisceration delivered to millions of listeners. Worse still, it cast him as the villain of his own downfall, someone who had let personal rivalries seep into professional obligations. Rogan has a knack for turning celebrity missteps into trending controversies, and this was no exception. In a matter of days, the chatter around Ryan's alleged recast grew louder than ever, with countless fans flooding social media to demand answers, or in some cases, to laugh at the idea that the king of quips could fall so far. If Ryan had hoped the rumor would vanish on its own, Rogan's viral sound bites made that impossible. When personal relationships collide with Hollywood politics, things can get explosive in a hurry. Blake Lively, known for her own success and sharp media savvy, allegedly erupted in private once these rumors hit critical mass. According to insiders, she was blindsided by how far the scandal had spiraled. She had carefully cultivated a public image as part of a Hollywood power couple, often trading lighthearted barbs with Ryan on social media, and it all looked picture perfect. Now, though, emergency PR meetings were reportedly held. Blake might have suspected Marvel was making a calculated power move to dethrone her husband from a multi-billion-dollar role. Or, as some sources suggest, she privately fumed at Ryan for stoking the feud with Baldoni and letting personal spats tarnish his professional standing. If the rumors about her pre-existing tension with Baldoni are true, then her marriage was suddenly at the center of a corporate storm. Some tabloids speculated that the stress was gnawing at them behind closed doors. Could a single role, even one as big as Deadpool, really threaten a relationship that always seemed so stable?
He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it.
Hollywood watchers pointed out that power couple status often rests on business relationships as much as personal ones. If Ryan's brand imploded, it might pull Blake's status down too. The rumor mill loves to sensationalize divorces and public breakups, so every tiny detail of their interactions became fodder for gossip. It was no longer just about Ryan's career. It felt like a test of the entire Reynolds Lively brand. Hollywood isn't known for loyalty. It's known for chasing success. And when a star looks like they're on shaky ground, studios start distancing themselves. Once Rogan's comments went viral, it wasn't just Marvel fans demanding clarity. It was other executives. Could Ryan Reynolds be too big a liability to cast in future projects? Sure, he was bankable for years, but if Disney or Marvel severed ties, Might other studios follow suit to avoid the same drama? With Justin Baldoni as a rumored replacement, the industry's eyes were on him, evaluating whether he could transform into a comedic anti-hero. If he succeeded, it would rewrite the rulebook on what Marvel can do with recasts. And if he failed, the blame would fall squarely on whoever made the call to remove Ryan. While there's still no official confirmation from Marvel, their silence on the matter spoke volumes. If they genuinely intended to keep Ryan as Deadpool, they would have nipped the rumor in the bud. The hush only fueled the perception that they were done with him, or at least weighing the PR risks of continuing the partnership. Brand deals that, once flocked to Ryan, might be reconsidered in the face of such negative press.
But it looks very similar. That's undeniable.
Now, the fan theory is that Ryan Reynolds saw that scene in It Ends With Us, and it was
Got jealous?
a trigger.
A-listers, after all, are valuable mostly for their image. One well-publicized meltdown or perceived betrayal can shift a star from golden to toxic in the blink of an eye. The same Reynolds who was championed for his hilarious advertisements and witty social media presence now found his brand overshadowed by an alleged public humiliation. And with the industry's short memory, it wouldn't take long for someone else, possibly Baldoni, to step in and fill that comedic or leading man niche. Deadpool, by all accounts, isn't going anywhere. The character is too lucrative, too popular to be shelved over any single actor dispute. What remains to be seen is whether fans will accept Justin Baldoni if Marvel does hand him the role. Audiences have shown in the past they can adapt to recasts, but Deadpool was different, deeply entwined with Ryan's brand of sarcastic, fourth-wall-breaking humor. Baldoni's approach would inevitably shift the character's vibe. Would he lean into the same comedic aggression? Would Marvel push for a slightly cleaner, friendlier version of the anti-hero? Or would they let him go full R-rated to honor the existing fan base? Marvel's track record of casting surprises might offer a clue. Chris Pratt went from goofy TV sidekick to buff leading hero. Paul Rudd was best known for gentle comedies before becoming Ant-Man. Neither was an obvious pick, yet both turned into Marvel success stories. Could Baldoni, with his heartfelt image, pivot just as seamlessly? Perhaps Marvel sees this as a fresh angle that will rejuvenate the franchise, shedding controversy along the way. After all, for them, the IP is king. Actors come and go, but the brand remains. Yet there's still a possibility, however slim, that Ryan pulls off a dramatic comeback.
In Blake's first amended complaint, Blake changed what she alleges about what happened while filming the slow dance scene, now that the footage has been released for everyone to see.
A well-timed public statement, an emergency meeting with Disney higher-ups, or a wave of fan outcry might force Marvel's hand to keep him around. If the hush from his camp breaks with something that shifts public sentiment, fans might rally behind him. Stranger things have happened in Hollywood, but the clock is ticking, and every day of silence only tightens Marvel's grip on a new direction. This entire saga is a stark reminder that Hollywood's stardom isn't invincible. Ryan Reynolds went from a beloved hero, practically the face of Deadpool, to a man on the edge of losing it all, at least according to the rumor mill. Joe Rogan's massive platform turned a backlot whisper into a front-page scandal, painting Reynolds as the architect of his own demise. Meanwhile, Blake Lively, once secure in a power couple glow, now faces the fallout of a feud that may have erupted from personal tensions with Justin Baldoni. And Baldoni himself, once an unexpected contender, might be sitting on the biggest career leap of his life. If these rumors prove correct, Marvel is poised to introduce a whole new Deadpool to the world, forever altering the character's relationship with Ryan Reynolds. Is the role bigger than the man who popularized it? Or will the franchise lose the spark that made it a runaway success in the first place? Only time, and perhaps a very carefully worded press release, will tell. Until then, fans are left wondering if we've just witnessed the biggest Hollywood backstab of the decade, and Ryan Reynolds is left with a painfully simple question: Where does he go from here when the role of a lifetime might be gone for good? In a town driven by reinvention, no story is over until the credits roll. But for now, the future looks shockingly uncertain. Marvel has stayed quiet, Joe Rogan has had his say, and Ryan Reynolds stands at the center of a swirling storm. 1. Lesson is clear. Even the most recognizable faces can slip off the pedestal overnight. Whether he fights his way back or makes a dramatic exit, this saga is far from finished. And the final outcome could rewrite the rules on how Hollywood handles its stars, its controversies, and its multi-billion-dollar franchises. Only one thing is certain. If Ryan can lose Deadpool, anything can happen in the new era of cinematic power plays.